Morning, everybody. I hope everybody's staying cool as they can be in this heat wave we've been getting here lately. And this video, I pondered. I've got two channels, and I was pondering which channel this video is best suited for, and I decided to pick this one because everybody hits a point in life, I think, where you feel you're at an ultimate crossroads. You don't know where to go, and maybe even you're questioning your purpose. But I've been off work, off my regular job this week, and it was a staycation for me. I stayed around the house and got the kids to school and picked up from school, and had time in between. And I just look around the city I live in, and some days it was just too hot to get out. And then I thought, okay, the things I like to do, it's too hot. It's too hot to go fishing. I wasn't gonna go out there and just sweat, be miserable, sun baking down, fishing. And then I've got golf clubs. I'm not an avid golfer. I don't even know if I even like golfing. But I bought a set of clubs because it seems like everybody my age golfs of some form or fashion, and I just kind of got a set of clubs to be included. If someone was going out to play golf, I could go. But I've only been golfing maybe twice since I bought the clubs, and once was by myself, the other one was with my brother-in-law in Texas. And it just, every time I get either think about wanting to go golfing, it's either raining or it's blistering hot outside, so I just don't go. And so the other day I got out and I just took a drive, and driving around town, I was like, there's nothing here. I mean, there's restaurants and houses and a Walmart, and there's nothing to do, nothing that would entice me. But so I've been thinking deeper, and that's just kind of a recap of my week and how deep I've been able to think. And I'm really at a crossroads, and I've prayed about it, and I asking for God to show me my purpose. What am I made for? And to be honest, what's really got me thinking so deeply here lately is, as most of you know by some of my other videos, or if you watch my other channel, I lost my mom a year ago. And I'm well aware of stages of grief and things like that. But everybody's grief is their own, and everybody's situation is their own. And I think my situation, I know I'm not the only one in the world in this that's ever been in this situation. But I think I'm in this situation at a very tough age. It's more, I'm aware of that. I'm 44, just turned 44 in May. And my mom was the last remaining close relative I had alive. And so now I have my two children who are the legacy, and I'm trying to be there for them the best way I can be. And my son is, I share custody with his mother from a previous divorce. And we were married for 12 years before we divorced, and had our son. And I've wanted to be the dad to him that I never had. And because of the situation, it's made it very challenging. And without going too deep into all of that, but it's it's sometimes a dagger. You know, sometimes I'll go to love on him, and it's like a dagger to the heart. It just rips my heart out some days. And I've been married to my current wife now almost 7 years, and we have a 5-year-old daughter together. And I see my daughter every day, and you know, my daughter's just a 5-year-old kid. Some days she wants mommy more. Some days she wants daddy more. It's normal. But I find myself realizing the rat race that humanity is in, and thinking about my own life a lot lately. And while granted I miss my mother's talks, I miss calling my mother up, telling her what's going on, hearing her wisdom. You know, I always have the wisdom of God. You know, I'm not trying to shortchange that. But I created this channel, this ministry, to give a raw edge to it. And I think that's what God is using in me to do. Bring more realism to the word than what you're going to get within the confines of a building, or what you're going to get from some of these ministries or proclaimed followers of Christ on YouTube, whatever. And here I'm using YouTube as a method, as the channel to talk to you. And I chose YouTube not to try to be a YouTube millionaire, but I chose YouTube because it's a way that I can talk in front of a camera and not talk in front of a crowd. I don't like public speaking, and I'm more comfortable and relaxed talking in front of this camera, even though when I upload this, it's out there for the world to see. But I can talk in front of this camera a lot easier than I can talk in front of a crowd of people. So this is my way of beating the devil's attacks on me, to silence me or to keep me from doing what I feel like God is calling me to do. And honestly, being able to like share the word and sit in fellowship with fellow Christians has really been the one thing in the past 2 to 3 years that I felt like this is where I belong. And maybe it is my calling. Maybe it is my purpose, and I'm now seeing it. But back to the main reason I want to make this video is, with all the deep thinking that I've been doing, I've realized that the Bible is written, and it has a lot. It has something for everybody. It's what makes it so great. But I think a lot of pastors misinterpret a lot of what's in the Bible. And it's because they honestly, if they're honest with themselves, they can't honestly say yay or nay that this is what God wants. God wrote passages, or had passages written, that deals with marriage. And God intended for one man and one woman to marry under his covenant and go forth and multiply and have children and raise the legacy and things like that, and create generational wealth for their children, right? And in the world term for that is called an organic marriage. That's what the world calls it. Well, when an organic marriage gets dissolved, because everybody can agree we live in a wicked world now, and it's getting worse. It's like, well, the world's always been wicked in some form or fashion, but it feels like it's, for our time, it's getting worse. There's a lot more things that are socially acceptable, or said to be socially acceptable, not biblically, but socially. And it's hard to balance that to be godly and live according to the word and also be in the world. And of course, there's a passage in the Bible for that. You know, God says, be of the world, not in the world, right? Or not be in the world, not of the world. I'm sorry, I got that backwards at first. But a lot of us don't know how to do that. We hear it, we can't comprehend it and turn it into action. Well, that is kind of part of the reason why I'm feeling trapped, you know, in my uh, ways of thoughts that I've been in here lately. And I'm now remarried, and it's a blended marriage, and that comes with its own challenges. But pastors and there's marital counselors out there that basically give advice based on the biblical intention of marriage. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying if we're honest with ourselves, biblically, there's nothing in there for or against blended marriages. And apparently, statistically, there's more blended family marriages now than organic. And that in itself is a problem. Because we should develop this mindset of, you know, you hear people say we've got yours, mine, and ours, and there's even a movie made about it. I think with Dennis Quaid years ago. There was a movie called Yours, Mine, and Ours, and it's about this blended family coming together and the challenges and things like that. Well, I think everybody goes through that on a smaller scale, because I think in the movie, you know, there was a bunch of children on both sides and they all came together. It's almost like a modern day Brady Bunch, but a blended family. But in this case, in today's modern world, if you're not willing with your partner to come together and say, this is going to be yours, mine, and ours, yours, mine, and, if you're not both willing to do that and come together in the beginning, then what it's going to do is it's going to turn into yours versus mine versus ours. And I'm not perfect. My wife is not perfect. We are two imperfect people who came together and decided to get married. We had different, she will even agree, we had different intentions getting married than what has played out in our life. Now, I'm not saying we're leading to a divorce. That's not what I'm going at with that, so don't get those ideas. I'm just using this moment to share that life is hard and nobody's perfect. There's only one perfect person that came in this world, and it was Jesus Christ, right? And he's no longer here in physical form. So anybody that's in a blended family, we have to navigate this totally different. And a lot of days, there's a lot more harder days in that, because, like I said, scripturally, it's very hard whenever it's written to be intended to be an organic marriage, and with all the trials and how to navigate and what's really the right decision. And I'm gonna end up making this a 2-part video, just because it's getting long. But I'm gonna end it here, just because I want to let everybody know that, like, one, I'm in a blended family, and number two, I'm going through some of the struggles that maybe you're going through, and I'm trying to approach it from scriptural point of view first, instead of a worldly point of view. And I'm acknowledging it is hard, because I'm looking at this going, the Bible doesn't say anything about a second marriage or a third marriage or a fourth marriage or whatever. It only intends to be one. And if you've kind of messed that up, whether it's your fault or not, I'm not the one that filed for the divorce in my first one. I was more the victim recipient of a divorce. Um, so whenever you look at it, you go, well, wait a minute, I had my organic one is dissolved. Now what? And I'm telling you, whenever you're in a blended family, I will say this for a fact, not every blended family is the same. There's ideal conditions that make it better. Um, if two people are both been separated and they've got, similar children in similar age range and they get together, it works easier. If two people remarry after becoming a widow or widower and go forward together, it's easier because there's no exes to deal with. There's no baby's mama, baby daddy situations to deal with. That sort of thing. And to be honest, my wife and I situation is the opposite as opposite could be. I think every situation, every little scenario that you can throw into a blended family, we're the opposite. I have an ex-wife. She doesn't. She was never married. She had an older daughter. I had a younger son. She's an extrovert. I'm an introvert. She has a social circle. I really don't. Not a local one. A lot of my friends live out of state, or live in other parts of the state. So I don't have a lot of close friends in my city. So it's very harder for me to call up someone and say, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee and sit face to face. So for me, it's either a text or a phone call or whatever, where she's got a big social circle where hey, I'm gonna go meet so-and-so at the coffee shop, we're gonna go grab lunch. So we are opposite in every aspect of blending. What brought us together? We both love the Lord. We both we're raised by single parents, and we both have struggled in life and know what it's like to struggle, and we came together to kind of walk shoulder to shoulder in life. That was, that's the intent in that. And we had a lot of other things in common, hobbies, recreational interests, stuff like that, we had in common. But I'll tell more on the next video.